If you like the video, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. This video is taking a look at the Space Marine changes for the Salamanders from the June 4th, 2025 balance update. There were not any changes to the core rules from the balance update. There has been a few datasheet changes, mainly to the Ultramarines, as well as some points buffs and points nerfs. Let's take a look at some of those changes that helped or hurt the Salamanders. First, we'll take a look at those Ultramarine datasheet changes. First up is the Primarch Robute Guilliman. He has went down by 25 points. His Supreme Strategist ability has also been nerfed. Instead of once per turn, he can reduce a stratagem by 1 CP. It is now once per battle round. Marneus Calgar received the same kind of treatment, where he went down by 10 points. His Master Tactician ability was changed. At the start of your command phase, if this unit's Marneus Calgar model is your warlord and is on the battlefield, you gain 1 CP. So now if you do take Robute Guilliman and Marneus Calgar on your list, Robute has to be your warlord. You no longer gain the 1 extra CP if you have Marneus Calgar on your list and Robute Guilliman. Next is the actual points changes for the Space Marine units. The first unit is the Aggressor Squad, and this is one of my favorite units for the Salamanders. Finally, these aggressors are starting to go down in price. 3 models went from 120 points to 100 points, while 6 models went from 240 points to 220 points. It is a shame they still have to pay the big unit tax of 20 points. Units of 3 in the Firestorm Assault Force could be a good option for a utility and attack unit. The Aggressor Squad has been a staple in my own personal Salamanders collection. I do believe I have 18 models or close to it. The thing with the smaller units is we do have a stratagem that gives our torrent weapons the devastating wounds ability. It does cost 2 CP though, so it is much better used on a big 6-man model to get the most use out of those 2 CP and the most chances to roll those 6s for the devastating wounds. Crucible of Battle for 1 CP to give us +1 to the wound roll in ranged or the fight phase. We do have to be within 6 inches to get that +1 to the wound roll. This is really useful in the fight phase with these aggressors. They have twin links on their Strength 8, AP 2, Damage 2 melee profile. +1 to the wound roll will really help these punch up into vehicle and monster units. I would love to see these split into 2 different profiles, one with the Firestorm gauntlets and one with the Boltstorm gauntlets, or at the very least have them pointed differently depending on which range weapon you're using. Next up is the Vanguard Veteran Squad with the jump packs. I have seen those in the comments saying they've really liked this unit, and now they're going to like this unit even more. These have seen a decent price drop, going from 110 points for 5 models and 220 points for 10 models, down to 95 for 5 models and 190 points for 10 models. The interesting thing about the Vanguard Veterans is they all can equip hand flamers. Salamanders love their torrent and melta weapons. 95 points makes these tempting. Our infantry of choice are not the fastest. Our Gravis, like the Eradicators and the Aggressors, only have a 5-inch move. Our Infernus Marines have that 6-inch move. 95 points gives us a movement 12 infantry with fly and some torrent and melee threat. In the fight phase, each model has 4 attacks, hitting on a 3+, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. We could use them as a fast melee shock troop. They can forego their ranged weapon to take a storm shield, giving them a 4+ invulnerable save. The Vanguard Veterans Datasheet ability, Vanguard Assault, each time this unit ends a charge move until the end of the turn, melee weapons equipped by models in that unit have the lethal hits ability. We could also use Crucible of Battle for 1 CP on this unit to give them +1 to the wound roll, or into the Oath of Moment target for another way to get +1 to the wound roll. At 95 points, I need to get a unit or 2 of these to try out on the tabletop. With that lower points price, I think they're going to be interesting for the Firestorm Assault Force. Next up is the Hellblaster Squad. Oh Hellblasters, how fun you are to use and how hated you are to play against. The Hellblasters can be great in a Gladius or Firestorm Assault Force list, especially in the Firestorm Assault Force if you can put them inside a transport. The 5 model unit went from 115 points to 110 points. The 10 model unit went from 230 points to 220 points. My Gladius Salamanders list just got 10 points cheaper. 10 points won't really make a big difference in that list though. If we make a list and take a few units of 3 model aggressors, maybe a Vanguard Veteran Squad or 2, we are starting to gain a fair amount of extra points. A 10-man unit of Hellblasters and a Repulsor is a great combination. It unlocks some potential with the transport-specific stratagems in the Firestorm Assault Force detachment. Overcharge them, shoot them, die, and then shoot them again with the Hellblasters for the chapter ability. Next is the Heavy Intercessor Squad. The Heavy Intercessors have been slowly going down in points, it seems, with every points update. The 5 model unit went from 110 points to 100 points. The 10 model unit went from 220 points to 200 points. I personally know one Iron Hands player that will be happy to see this. These are chunky 3 wound, T6, 3+ save models. Their ranged weapons are Strength 5, AP 1, Damage 2. With some defensive or offensive buffs, a big 10-man unit of Heavy Intercessors can be very hard to shift while doing some scary damage. The last Space Marine points change was to the Captain with the Jump Pack. A nice points drop going from 85 points to 75 points. This is a unit I have not looked into that much until now. He can join the Vanguard veterans with jump packs with his Angel of Wrath ability, adding +1 strength to his unit's melee weapons. He also has the Captain's Rites of Battle ability to reduce a stratagem by 1 CP. We could use this on Crucible of Battle to bring that down to 0 CP on a big 10-man model unit of Vanguard veterans to give them +1 to the wound roll in the fight phase. That's the end of the datasheet changes and the points changes for the Space Marines from the June 2025 balance update. Let's take a look at a Firestorm Assault Force list taking advantage of some of these changes. This is a 2,000 point Firestorm Assault Force list. I've named this one the Pyro Drakes. It comes to 1,995 points. My Warlord is Vulkan He'stan. For the other characters, I do have Adrax Agatone and a Captain in Gravis armor with the Forge in Battle enhancement. For my other datasheets, I do have a big unit of 6 aggressors with the Flamestorm gauntlets, and they're going to join up with that Captain in Gravis armor. I do have 2 units of 3 aggressors with the Flamestorm gauntlets. Next is 6 Blade Guard veterans. The Sergeant has the Neo-Volkite pistol. Those will be joined up with Adrax Agatone. A unit of 10 Infernus Marines to join up with Vulkan He'stan. 2 units of Vanguard veterans with the jump packs. All 5 models in each unit have the Hand Flamers. A 3-man unit of Eradicators. A 5-man Infiltrator squad with the Helix Gauntlet. 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts. Finally, a Land Raider Redeemer to taxi around that big squad of aggressors with the Captain and Gravis armor inside. I didn't build this with a competitive mindset. I built this for fun, but it should have some strength, taking advantage of those points drops, getting some more Torrent and Melt weapons in our list. Space Marine base sizes. In the new chapter approved Tournament Companion, there is a section that goes through every faction with the base size for every model in the faction. Now this is very handy for those who want to proxy or kit bash some models for Warhammer 40K. I will leave these up for a few seconds. Feel free to pause if needed. I will also timestamp this section. I did want to point out that Vulkan has been changed from his tiny base up to a bigger 32mm base. Let's finish the video with some final thoughts. This was the last video covering the changes in the June 2025 balance update. I know these were not targeted changes to help or buff the Salamanders, more to balance out the Ultramarines. There are some nice changes to the more fluffy Salamanders list using the aggressors or other torrent weapon units such as the Vanguard veterans or even the Inferno squad, who had seen a glow up in the previous data slate. If I have missed anything, throw it down in the comments. Which of these units are you most excited to play on the table at these new price points? Next Flamestorm Friday, we will be taking a look at my Gladius Task Force Salamanders list. Subscribe for weekly battle reports, list videos, and other Warhammer 40K content. Like always, thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by.